Hi guys, I'm so happy to have you back on my channel. In this clip, Lisa Bonet is discussing some very serious topics that's on all of our minds today. Now, please comment below to let me know if you agree or disagree with her. Do you think she was boycotted based on her views? Let me know. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video and hit that notification bell for future videos. Enjoy.
Mother, and everybody should have that.
Well,
And your baby does. Huh?
I said that's why I'm here, to share what information I've learned.
Yeah. Now tell me, Lisa, just we gotta, if they want to ask you about it, and they will. It's legal, but we don't want to have too many subjects in the air and get confused. You're not scared you didn't vaccinate your baby?
I'm scared, and I'm scared to vaccinate her, which is why I didn't vaccinate her in the first place, and which led me to read about the warnings that are out there. And what I've learned are there warnings about introducing these alien microorganisms into our children's blood and the long-term effects, which could be trivial or they could be quite hazardous, and they could be just allergies or asthma or sleep disorders, or they could be cancer, leukemia, multiple sclerosis, sudden infant death syndrome. It's very scary and it's very serious, and I think because I felt wrong doing it, that's why I didn't do it. And, we have to think twice. Why are our children getting these diseases? Why?
And what is the biochemical legacy of the vaccination? How long does it last, and what might it be its effect?
Yes.
Yeah. You're putting something into your baby's bloodstream. Everybody ought to think about that twice.
We
yes.
get this official stamp, and someone's designated to give us this information, which isn't really known about or researched, and we find out the hard way, No one knew that, the pill in its original state, for women, birth control, I don't want to get into this is a big one, but was so detrimental to...
And dairy products has what? Has polluted the earth, has caused, we don't know about the chemicals in this thing. It's not good for us, and we've been sold a bill.
Breast cancer, colon cancer. It's very serious, all my life I've only heard about the 4 basic food groups and how good it is and essential these things are to our existence. And yet, when you read the statistics and educate yourself about what's in it and what's it doing to our body, it's very scary. It's not good for us, and it's not good for the planet.
You think the lobbying, the agribusiness and all this, I'm sure.
Total manipulation to keep a lot of people very rich.
You feel that the political pressure or the marketing pressure to buy meat and dairy is not unlike the pressure on women in the 50s and 60s not to breastfeed. Do I understand?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it only weakens us, and it keeps us going back to the doctors, keeps our children weak, and we've completely turned, we don't live to eat, we eat to live, and we seem to forget that.
Well, Raul, how do you fit in here? Do you share Ms. Bonet's personal tenets here?
I must say I'm a neophyte as far as I've just started reading John Robbins' book, and I find it very important. And I've been working with the Hunger Project since 1977, so my commitment really, and as well as the commitment of 6.2 million people over the world, is to the end of hunger by the end of the century. But I find that it's all related. The environment and ending hunger is all very much related to a better world. What the Hunger Project specifically is about is through education and enrollment and communication to generate the will to end hunger in so far as we make it a priority in the political and economical agenda, right, so that we actually create opportunity for those people who are hungry to feed themselves.
Yeah.
But they don't need to be hungry.
No, they don't. I'm just wondering, don't accuse me of cynicism now. I have to ask you these questions. It's so overwhelming, hunger in the world. And the politics of this thing, and whose side are you on, and are they starving because it's not there? Are they starving because some guy is, who's leading the community? How much money do we give to African nations versus Western, white, well, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's overwhelming if we don't know anything about it. I think ignorance is what makes us overwhelmed. Once we learn the truth about the hunger, for example, or the environment, and how we can contribute, and how very much it's within our power, really, to do it, and to end hunger, and to improve the environment, and to save children from diseases and starvation, and from false vaccinations and things like that. Once we educate ourselves, then it's much easier. It's ignorance that makes us feel overwhelmed about things.
Jump in here, River, and as you do, let me remind this audience, as I've said, you're the oldest of 5 children. I assume you were brought to ecological awareness as a very early, when you were a kid, huh?
Luckily, yes.
Your parents?
Yes, my parents shared a lot of kind of untold truths to me.
And your name is River. That's your name.
Yeah.
And what are your siblings' names?
Rain, Liberty, Summer, and Joaquin.
This sounds Native American, are you?
I have a little in me. How much, I don't know.
As much as you can get, I bet you hope. The first citizens who cared about the earth were Native Americans, certainly in this part of the world. So let's hear from you here now. You've joined 2 other politically active artists.
Glad to be here.
And tell me what moves you here.
Well, I would like to redefine for everyone here, if possible, what is an environmentalist. I think that we all just have that natural birthright to be so. It shouldn't be a label. In fact, you know, if the government has any qualms about it, they should put it in perspective of maybe the defense budget, whereas this is defense that we're talking about, defense for our life support system. And let's divert some of these funds and put them into a direction that might save all of mankind.
I tell you what, it's not an F-117A, you know what I mean? And I don't know if my brother-in-law's going to get a job if you guys take over here. You see, the problem is, I'm sure you know, we've got an economy that's very much built on war and Christmas. And it's awfully hard to get people to, it's hard to get people, global warming, I don't know, what do you think? You know, it's not a baby in a well.
What kind of life can anyone with success have if we have no stability, if we have no air to breathe, if we have no... It's like we can't even get along with each other until we have a place to do it from.
Well, this point should also be made, too, before I collapse here of my own cynicism. You're signing up hundreds and hundreds of people a day into various parts of this effort. I think it's very misleading to suggest that people don't care. I don't mean to say that.
Oh, people do care.
Yes,
they do care. And everyone cares. It's just like, where do you start?
But, well, the question is, how much of the caring then is moved to political action? How many... to political action? How many people are going to sit in a small room on a wooden chair listening to somebody with slides, trying to help them make their own contribution? That's the issue.
That's not where it has to begin. It begins with making yourself aware and changing your habits at home, you know.
As consumers, we have so much responsibility, and that's, I think, what we all need to assume more so, especially once the information has been given, you know, clearly. I read John Robbins' book, you know, and it shed so much light on all this, and